Teks Sutasoma ini menceritakan tentang pengembaraan Pangeran Sutasoma. Dalam pengembaraan itu dia melihat berbagai hal gitu.
Sutasoma was an Indian prince with no interest in ruling, so he left his kingdom to travel. One story records a clash between religions. A wicked king called Purushada lived off the flesh of his subjects. To help them, Buddha reincarnate Prince Sutasoma offered his own body. But this offended Purushada, who called on Lord Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction, to kill Sutasoma. The Buddha and Lord Shiva battled, but both were equally strong. The battle continued until priests told them to stop fighting. Because although they looked different, in reality, they were one.
Bhinneka Tunggal Ika.
So this is the famous Bhinneka Tunggal Ika.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
It's a parable of religious harmony during the 200-year rule of the Majapahit that stood for how Buddhism and Hinduism were often practiced side by side. An idea of acceptance that continues to have resonance today. The Majapahit is said to have been the first kingdom to unite the diverse archipelago. To understand how it flourished, I'm starting at the very beginning. In 1289, an envoy from the Mongol Emperor Kublai Khan landed in Java to demand allegiance. But King Kertanagara sent them packing by mutilating their faces. In retaliation, Kublai Khan sent a mighty fleet of 1,000 ships and 20,000 men to unseat the Javanese king. But when they landed in Java 3 years later, King Kertanagara had been assassinated, and in his place was a different king. A prince called Raden Wijaya saw his chance. He offered to help the Mongols overthrow the new king and swear allegiance to the great Khan. Together, they attacked. And captured the king. But then, Raden Wijaya turned on his allies with a surprise attack. And the Mongols fled, never to return. In 1294, Raden Wijaya became the first king of the Majapahit and built his capital in the hinterlands of Java. Religious and ethnic tolerance and its location at the center of a major trading route resulted in a blending of cultures that powered the Majapahit Empire. But it was a legendary prime minister who led the empire to its golden age in the 14th century. The elephant general Gajah Mada, who some say made an oath that he would not taste spice until all of their outer islands were under Majapahit rule. True to his word, in 1331, he consolidated the empire's hold over eastern Java. In 1343, he conquered Bali and continued eastwards. By the mid-14th century, Majapahit's tributary states were said to stretch from New Guinea to parts of the Malay archipelago. With extensive trade links, the empire grew richer and richer. And the extravagance of the royal court knew no bounds. Under King Hayam Wuruk, a great patron of Indonesian arts, the empire built a rich cultural heritage that is beloved and practiced even today.
Sunan Ampel was a Muslim foreigner from the state of Champa, modern Vietnam. whose family was connected by marriage to the Majapahit rulers. When he arrived in Java, he was granted freedom to teach the Islamic faith.
In the 15th century, Islam was a religion of traders, and it was tolerated by the Majapahit. As the faith spread, it weakened the authority of its rulers, who were seen as gods in the Hindu-Buddhist tradition. But the end of their reign was brought about by something closer to home. Legend has it that when the Majapahit attacked another Indonesian empire, the Srivijaya, around 1398, the Srivijayan king was driven from his outpost in Singapura and fled north to Malacca. There, he converted to Islam and traded with Muslim merchants from the Middle East, India, and China, establishing a new trading hub to rival the Majapahit. Internal power struggles weakened the empire further until the People's Revolution drove them east to Bali. But the last Majapahit king is said to have fled west to Mount Lau and took refuge in a Hindu temple.
My name is Peter Lee. I'm from Singapore. You all know where Singapore is? Yes. Yes? All know, yeah. Singapore is a small island and Indonesia is so big. And we have only 4 main races. So today I want to learn a little bit more about Indonesia. Can you tell me where your family is from? Ada dari Jawa? Dari Jawa Timur, Jaktim, Sulawesi Selatan, Jawa Barat, Sunda. Ya, Sunda. Chinese.
We think we're a melting pot in Singapore, but right here, I've just found over 10 ethnicities. I want to find out how their teacher, Neni Herawati, bridges these differences.
Anak-anak di sekolah itu kan mereka berbeda-beda suku bangsa. Ini pun tidak menjadi hambatan untuk mereka bisa berjalan seiring bersama-sama. Kita akan belajar tentang indahnya kebersamaan. Indahnya kebersamaan itu artinya apa coba?
Saling menghargai.
Saling menghargai. Ya, berarti boleh Audi.
Tidak mengiringi bersama.
Negara kita itu adalah negara yang terdiri dari berbagai pulau, ya. Maka walaupun berbeda-beda suku bangsa, kita tetap berpedoman kepada semboyan negara kita apa? Artinya beda-beda tetapi tetap satu.
Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, or unity in diversity, is Indonesia's national motto.